All right, folks, we're back. I'm your host, BKP, and you're watching BKP Politics on voiceofruralamerica.com. Welcome back. The freeze. The freeze. I don't think there's been more people exposed. It's coming to the surface. They have, when I say they, will point out some, they have been stealing in the trillions of dollars. In the trillions of dollars. Absolutely. I mean, we have passed funding bills and they pushed it out the door. Now, Trump said, freeze, stop right there. You know, let me give me just say let me give you an example, okay? So the new sheriff in town, Diane, when I tell you I'm ready for this, get it ready. 61. Don't put it up yet, Diane. 61. So the Biden administration passed all this spending with help from Republicans. Okay. Republicans helped them. They got all this spending in the pipeline. They're stealing trillions of dollars all across this country. Trillions of dollars. Everybody's got their hand in a cookie jar. And the very last month, right down to weeks, right down to days, the Biden administration did everything they could to shovel every dime out the door. We talked about it. They were going into every account, every budget, everything they had, and saying, print, turn the printers on, get it out the door. And the new sheriff showed up, number 61, and he caught them stealing. This is how simple this is. He caught them stealing, and he said, freeze. Hold it right there. Don't take another step. That's the simple explanation of the freeze. Freeze. Don't take another step with that bag of money you're stealing. Freeze right there. And you're going to come back in here, and no one, I mean no one in this room is leaving until we sort all this out. It's how simple it is. It's how simple it is. Now, Trump told you on the campaign trail he was going to do this. He told you, right? Give me, let's see, where is Trump? Where's he at? CNN. Give me video 4, CNN this morning, video 4.
Take a listen to that.
I will fight to restore the president's historic impoundment power. A lot of you don't know what that is. For 200 years, the president had the right to block unneeded spending and return the funds directly to the Treasury. They stopped that. Congress unconstitutionally probably attacked the impoundment power in 1974, but it will come back. We're going to bring it back, and we will squeeze the bloated federal bureaucracy, and we'll, instead of just having to just spend it, we're going to reduce our debt.
So
bloated bureaucracies, right? Bloated bureaucracies. And look, yesterday he put a pause, a freeze. Now, nothing happened to Social Security. Nothing happened to Meals on Wheels. Nothing happened to Medicaid, Medicare. Nothing happened. But the Democrats found this to be number 57, the frenzy that they can whoop everybody up and make you believe today, if you're out there Trump funding freeze awakens the resistance. So immediately the emails start going out to every NGO, every leftist organization out there that is spending money and receiving these grants all over the country. You need to start yelling about it. And then, here's the call. Yes, I'm an NGO and I'm getting trillions of dollars, not trillions, probably just billions. I got $500 million last year. What happened? He put a freeze. And how does that affect me? We don't know, but here's what we need you to do. We need you to be concerned over nothing. Yes, we need you just to yell. So I don't know why I'm yelling. No. I don't know really what's going to happen. No. But I need to just yell just because. Yes, do it. This is the entire what took place yesterday with no basis whatsoever. Give me video 20.
I don't know what we're yelling about! Loud noises!
They have no idea. They just made up a crisis, put it out there, and Trump did. He put the freezes on. They were going to go into effect at 5 o'clock this afternoon, but this is the statement. Let's see, number 6. See if I have this, Diane. Federal agencies must temporarily pause all activities related to obligation or disbursement of all federal financial assistance and other relevant agency. This is 7. Activities that may be implicated by the executive order, including but not limited to financial assistance for foreign aid, non-governmental aid organizations, NGOs. Now stop right there for a minute. All of you NGOs out there that were created so the Biden administration could shove millions of dollars so you could give out the $5,000 Visa cards. The list goes on. You're using this to funnel as a laundromat. NGOs, go back to 7 for a moment. All right. Activities that may be implicated by the executive orders, including but not limited to financial assistance for foreign aid, non-governmental number 8 organizations, DEI, woke gender ideology, and Green New Deal. So you have to freeze immediately all money, foreign aid organizations, NGO organizations, any organization, whatever you're spending on a DEI program, woke gender ideology, and Green New Deal must freeze in place. All right? No more stealing. And what did they do? Here's what they did. They went with let's start with number 3. Let's go through here, Diane. Chaos and confusion. There's no chaos and confusion. Chaos and confusion. Now they brought the little limp-wristed fairy dust, what's his name? Number 4, Tim Walz of Minnesota, out. Chaos and confusion. Let's see. Give me number 10. The judge temporarily blocks Trump's federal funding freeze. The judge just said, okay, I'm not blocking it. I'm just telling you, we're going to wait till Monday. Number 13, semaphore. Trump says he will try to unilaterally cut government spending if elected president. You knew this all along. This is not anything new. Trump said this was going to happen. Judge pauses federal freeze. Now, here's what the judge said. Number 14. The government doesn't know the full scope of the programs that are going to be subject to the pause. That's it. You got to do something between now and Monday, but Monday it's going to go in effect. So we'll see. But that's it. Now, they lied. Just thought I'd give you a minute to be shocked. They're lying out there. 15. 2,000 plus federal programs under review. My God. We no longer Head Start. Well, you got to go for the children. Got to go for the children, Head Start. Cancer Center support grants. Oh my God. Not cancer. Emergency grain storage for farmers. Really? Well, I'll tell you what, if the farmer that's getting a government grant has a DEI program, it could be a problem. Trump's spending freeze, cancer, grant, the farmers, the children, right? Number 16, Trump's spending freeze unleashes nationwide uncertainty. Nationwide uncertainty. They just made up the uncertainty. They just made it up. They don't know. It was a pause. It's a pause. They don't even know why they're yelling. They don't know. They have no idea why they're in an uproar. Number 17, Democrats find a voice in opposition to Trump's funding halt. This is actually a very true statement. They found their voice because all they did was yell on all the networks. All the Democrats came out and yelled. The governors, oh my God, kids are going to be starving tomorrow. Grandma will not get a meal today at noon. Because Trump doesn't want us to steal money anymore from you, the taxpayers. Give me number. Sorry about that, folks. Let me make sure there's some clips that I'm not missing. Oh, that's my next subject. So, transgender inmates, we did that one. Just making sure. Just let me get through. Make sure I didn't miss anything here. Here's one, number 63. States lose access to Medicaid payment portal amid Trump federal aid freeze. The portal went down for, I'm going to say, 15 minutes? No, I really think for like a couple hours, the portal did not work. But this added to the frenzy. The portal did not work, and all it did was add to the frenzy that they made up. 69, Trump suspends dozens of top officials for blocking his freeze on foreign aid, not playing any games. Now, So Trump told you all along he's going to do this. Listen to the media video, the Democrats. Listen to the Democrat governors. The Democrat governors video 2 from CNN this morning.
I know you have a lot of questions. I have a lot of questions because not one damn person thought this through.
What Donald Trump tried to do in the last 24 hours is illegal. Let's be clear. This is a demonstration of cruelty against people who depend on us.
We are literally talking about an order that called for trillions of dollars of funding cuts, which was completely irrational. That there was no reason for it. This was essentially a self-imposed government shutdown.
Even with the judge's pause.
That's the governor of Maryland. This was a self-imposed government shutdown. I like it. I like it. I like it. Self-imposed government shutdown. I will take that. They don't know what they're talking about. Waltz starts, this is cruelty. Cruelty where? Well, we can no longer steal. Go look up. I'm going to give you this homework assignment. Look up Tim Waltz, right? Tim Waltz, state of Minnesota, COVID money theft. Go look it up. The theft of COVID money in the state of Minnesota under Tim Waltz as governor. Go look it up. And then Pritzker in Illinois, and then the Maryland governor. Well, you do not realize this is where we steal from. Now, we have no idea whatsoever why we're saying anything right now. We don't even know what really happened, but we got a memo of talking points that we have to start yelling cruel, and we have to say uncertainty and devastating and shocking and crisis and chaos. We got a list of words. Give me Tim Waltz, video 5.
Donald Trump's reckless action cut off funding to law enforcement, farmers, schools, childcare, veterans, and healthcare. While he was out golfing, he threw the country into crisis. This is not bold. It's not leadership. It's stupid, buffoonish, childish of exactly what they did. Childcare providers across the state, law enforcement, our prisons. It's an outrageous power grab. It undermines Minnesotans, and I want to tell you, we are here to do all we can to protect Minnesotans, but I cannot promise you that we can make up the nearly $2 billion a month of our money that is being held illegally by the Trump administration. Dollars that make a difference in the things that we do.
$2 billion a month of our money? What he is doing is he's saying, look, if you're out there, we'll get your money back. Where are we going to steal from? I know. Relax. I know. All I have to do is say law enforcement. We will get $2 billion a month of our money. They have no idea what's going on yesterday. None whatsoever. They don't want to talk about DEI, woke, Green New Deal. They don't want to talk about how they're getting all this money and they're kicking up. I mean, the mafia, they kick up. They're stealing trillions of dollars. And give me and then grandma. I mean, isn't this the saddest thing? Video 3.
Even with the judge's pause, local programs like Meals on Wheels, which relies heavily on federal grants to deliver meals to elderly people, are scrambling to figure out how the policy could disrupt their service.
I think the uncertainty, the chaos that has happened since last evening when we heard about this has caused a lot of grave concern on the part of older adults who rely on Meals on Wheels as a lifeline.
Joining me now to talk about all we
did was hear about this. We just heard something, and we're scrambling. We're scrambling right now. We heard about it. We have no idea what we're talking about. We don't know what's going on, but we heard about it. Where'd you hear about it? Who sent you the memo? Scrambling. They're scrambling right now since they heard about it. Look, I support Donald Trump tearing these walls down, building the wall on the southern border and tearing the walls down, protecting these criminals, protecting them. And this is the only way you can do it. Do it now. Do it. Get it over with. Now, the other part that I absolutely love, you got to go back to work. We're not the federal government. We got to get rid of these bureaucracies. We have to get rid of these people. Realistically, if you have 1,000 people and 500 are not showing up, out of the 500, let's say 375 are not working at all. We'll just say that for an example. They have to go. They have to go. We're gonna tell you, you have to go back to work. Now, here's what we'll do. If you come back in the office, let's say we don't need you and we look for a way to get rid of you, we'll buy you out. We'll make you a deal. You leave. And see, the minute they leave, we can cut that budget, cut that bureaucracy down, and put hiring freezes on where we can't replace these people. These are all the steps you have to take. You have to take to take down the deep state, end this bureaucracy. So, I'm looking for a couple graphics here. Number 9, Trump administration offers buyouts to millions of federal workers. Come back. We'll make you a deal. You leave. We'll buy you out. Let me see what others I have here. I have a couple more that I want to run through here. I got to go through Gary Peters' Senate hearing today. We got to talk about that. I'm getting there. I just want to go one at a time instead of searching. So Trump said, I will buy you out. You go home. We will have it here. Here you go. Number 48, Diane. Trump offers 2 million federal workers buyouts with 7 months' salary to accelerate government purge. We will buy you out. Emails went out to 2 million federal employees Tuesday evening, offering them a chance to go on paid leave if they don't accept the new demand that they report to the office for work. You don't have to come back to work. We'll give you a check. You're done. You're done. You quit. You're out. One time only. Buyout. You're gone. Now, this happens every day in the private sector. I know this is not the private sector. It is your tax money, but it happens every day when they want to cut down. They take a group of people. We'll give you so much money, you go home. Move on. So that's what Trump's doing here. He's going to buy them out. You go home. Don't come back. Number 49. Trump offering buyouts to all federal workers. The White House issued a memo Tuesday offering to pay federal workers who don't want to return to the office through September 30th as long as they resign by February 6th. The action first reported by Axios marks an acceleration in President Trump's already unprecedented purge of the federal workforce. We must purge the federal workforce, right? We must stop the theft of our money. Driving the news, the Office of Personnel Management described the offer as administrative leave with pay and benefits. So employees who wish to resign were told, select reply to this email. You must reply from your government account. A reply from an account other than a government will not be accepted. All right. Type the word resign into the body of the reply email. Hit send. Hit send, baby. And we'll get you out of here. We'll get you a check. And we will cut this behemoth of the government bureaucracy. Give me, let's see, do I have... Where's it at? I had one here. Oh, the government freeze. I'm going to do this one in a minute. Stephen Miller on the government freeze. I do want to play that one. But give me video 6, MSNBC, Tim Kaine for Virginia.
Offer. So my message to federal employees who received this is, yeah, the president has tried to terrorize you for about a week and then gives you a little sweetheart offer. If you resign in the next week, we're just going to pay you for doing nothing for the next 7 months. Don't be fooled. He's tricked hundreds of people with that offer. If you accept that offer and resign, he'll stiff you just like he stiffed the contractors. He doesn't have any authority to do this. Do not be fooled by this guy.
Folks, you are not shocked of the battle. Remember for years, for a year, for months, all the way up to the election, all the way up to the inauguration. We've talked about the war. We've talked about the battle. Every single thing Trump promised on the campaign trail, these are all promises he made the American people. These are promises he made the American people. From immigration to the arrest, mass deportations, shutting down government bureaucracy, shutting down these NGOs from getting billions and trillions of dollars stealing from us. There's not one single thing he has done since Monday, January 20th at noon that is shocking and outside of the scope of his campaign promises. And I know it's shocking, continue to use the word, that someone is keeping a campaign promise. Just not used to that. Now, I will tell you this, all right? You know the war, and you're starting to see the beginning of the retaliation of what it's like to try to just claw away and pull back from the deep state. And it's going to get worse. It's going to get much worse. Yes, to claw back from the deep state. Now, that being said, give me Stephen Miller on the government freeze. CNN video 1.
As the guidance was not as widespread as reported.
There were some bureaucrats in the federal government who tried to push out money, billions of dollars, for wicked and pernicious purposes that had to be frozen.
The White House trying to suggest that.
Now, I had to work on pernicious. I was like, don't say pernicious. Pernicious. What'd he say? I told you that. Trying to push out billions of dollars for wicked and pernicious motives. We told you that. They're trying to push billions of dollars out the door. And the sheriff said, freeze. Don't take another step. That's all that happened. But cancer, grandma's meals, Medicare, Medicaid, children, chaos, confusion. All right, so right here, number one, they waited until it's all a setup, obviously. They waited until the day before today at 10 o'clock. They start the Kennedy hearing, right? And searing letter. Caroline, his cousin, right? Caroline Kennedy, JFK's daughter, wrote this letter, and she did a YouTube video yesterday on what a bad guy Bobby is. He's a terrible guy. The day before the hearing. All right. So that's out there. They're reporting on that like it's some kind of major news that they have. That happens today. Then give me number, let's see, 26, going after Bobby Kennedy. Now 27, today, the hearing, 27, that's today, and Kelly Loeffler for Small Business Administration. Tomorrow, January 30th, Kennedy Part 2, Tulsi Gabbard, Kash Patel. Now, Republicans will probably, to me, may end up being our real problem on the Kennedy Tulsi Gabbard. And I'll tell you why, is they're trying to save all of the state party. We'll talk about that in a minute. All of your state party apparatuses across the country, they're trying to save the establishment. They're trying to save the institution of what Republican Party, means to you. It's the institution they want to save. And these two, Kennedy and Tulsi Gabbard, they're not members. No, they're not members. Give me video. Let's see. Tulsi Gabbard, give me video 7.
RFK, but here Tulsi Gabbard, who I guess we keep hearing is the one that's in the nominee in the most trouble right now.
Yeah, if these nominees were Democrats, these Republican senators rightly would be yelling and screaming about everything you just laid out. It was
Tulsi Gabbard, they say she's in the most trouble. RFK Jr. and Tulsi Gabbard are not in the Republican club. No, they're not in the Republican club. Tulsi is a great example. RFK, that to my knowledge, has not stood up and denounced the Democrat Party and joined the Republican Party. RFK Jr., to my knowledge, he was running as an independent because the Democrats were keeping him off the ballot, and he didn't get a fair shot at a primary against Biden or others. So he ran as an independent. But to my knowledge, RFK never stood on the stage and denounced the Democrat Party and became a Republican. That's one thing. Now, the other thing is Tulsi Gabbard did. She did get on the stage and denounce the Democrat Party and say, as of this day, I am a Republican and I'm joining the Republican Party. She did that. Now, the other side of that is in the Republican Party, we have we're glad you're here, but doesn't mean you can do things, doesn't mean you can beyond the committees. It does not mean you can run the party. We have people right in the Republican Party, and they're the establishment. They've been there for years, and they like when you come in the room and say, I'm a Republican and I'm new. They cheer for a minute, but then if you say, well, I want to run for chairman of the party in this county or whatever it may be, whoa. We told you could come and get a chair, and we're going to pretend like we're real happy you're here, but you mean you want to? No. You can't do that. So Tulsi Gabbard is not, she's not part of the establishment, but she did denounce the Democrats and join the Republican Party. So both of them will struggle, probably based with the Republican Party. I like this one here, 23. The Defense Secretary orders review of General Milley's rank. And number 2, make sure I don't have anything else here on General Milley. I think that's it on General Milley. I thought I had another one. Let me see. There it is, 62. Give me 62. Security revoked. And Hegseth cutting Milley's security detail, eyes stripping him of a star. Yes. Just say. 70. It's not like you didn't know this was coming. And here you go, 70. Right there, Republican sabotage of 2 of Trump's bold cabinet picks subverts the will of those who voted for him. Now and I like this because it was known by all. Once again, Trump did not shock you. I mean, Bobby Kennedy was always going to be in Trump's administration. Tulsi Gabbard was going to be in Trump's administration. Voters went to the polls knowing how close Trump, Bobby, and Tulsi, and knowing they were going to be in the administration. You did not get shocked after Trump was elected. Trump did not shock you with these nominees at all. So, and it's the Republicans. Now, give me right here, Gary Peters. I'm just going to give you a brief. Had it here a minute ago. We'll go with this one here. Go ahead, set 24. Gary Peters is a senator, U.S. Senator from Michigan, and he is going to retire and leave that seat open. Gary Peters retiring from the Senate seat in Battleground, Michigan. Now, the reason Peters is retiring is because he does not want the battle that Elise Slotkin is going to put him in. Remember last week, I think it was, we did the story called 2 for 1, right? 2 for 1. Like Ossoff is running for re-election. John Ossoff, the senator, is running for re-election in Georgia. He had to vote for the Lincoln Riley Act. So did Raphael Warnock, the other senator. He had to do it. It's 2 for 1. It's happening all over. Well, Michigan is in that position. Gary Peters is up in 2026. He had to vote for the Lincoln Riley Act. He needed Elise Slotkin, the new senator, to go along with him. So what Gary Peters can't put up with is a split in Michigan of every time something comes up, he knows he has to vote a certain way for re-election, and Elise Slotkin says, I'm not doing it. I'm voting this way. He doesn't want that. So what he can do now is he can vote the way he wants until 26. She can vote the way she wants, but the new person running for Senate won't be caught up in that battle. That's why that's happening. Period. He wouldn't leave if it wasn't for Elise Slotkin and her far left in Michigan policies. The Truth. I really liked this one yesterday. Caroline, The Truth, video 14 out of the press office.
Speaking on behalf of the President of the United States. That is my job. And I will say it's very easy to speak truth from this podium when you have a president who is implementing policies that are wildly popular with the American people. And that's exactly what this administration is doing. It's correcting the lies and the wrongs of the past 4 years, many of the lies that have been told to your faces in this very briefing room. I will not do that. But since you brought up Truth Seek, I would like to point out while I vowed to provide the truth from this podium, we ask that all of you in this room hold yourselves to that same standard. We know for a fact there have been lies that have been pushed by many legacy media outlets in this country about this president, about his family, and we will not accept that. We will call you out when we feel that your reporting is wrong or there is misinformation about this White House. So, yes, I will hold myself to the truth, and I expect everyone in this room to do the same.
And
Caroline just said point blank, yeah, about 2 weeks ago, this little black muffin top head lesbian would come up here with a binder and just lie and lie again, and no, he's not going to pardon his son. Just lie. We know that. We know that lies have been told from this podium, from this room, from the other administration. Not going to happen anymore, and we're not going to tolerate it from you. Not going to do it. The truth will be the basis of this administration. I liked it. Now, here's another one. A new seat in the press office. This is freaking them out. Not just the cross she's wearing. No, that messed them up. But this is freaking them out, the legacy media, because they do not want to sit next to you. I've experienced this firsthand. I've been to a lot of events with legacy media that's better than me. Video 12.
This White House believes strongly in the First Amendment, so it's why our team will work diligently to restore the press passes of the 440 journalists whose passes were wrongly revoked by the previous administration. We're also opening up this briefing room to new media voices who produce news-related content and whose outlet is not already represented by one of the seats in this room. We welcome independent journalists, podcasters, social media influencers, and content creators to apply for credentials to cover this White House. And you can apply now on our new website, whitehouse.gov/new media. Starting today, this seat in the front of the room, which is usually occupied by the press secretary's staff, will be called the new media seat. My team will review the applications and give credentials to new media applicants who meet our criteria and pass United States Secret Service requirements to enter the White House complex. So in light of these announcements, our first questions for today's briefing will go to these new media members whose outlets, despite being some of the most viewed news websites in the country, have not been given seats in this room.
Sitting right next to ABC. Who are you? Hey, I'm a social media influencer. What? Who are you? Oh, I'm on TikTok. Oh, you can't beat it. You can't beat it. Now I've got to go. It's going to be time for the Georgia Hour. The Georgia Hour coming up right after this. But, so I was thinking this morning, I'm putting all this together. This is number 45. All right. This is what the White House press room looked like yesterday. My hat's off to this young lady. She's 27 years old, a mother, and she went in that room yesterday right there. And she went for it. Great job, Caroline Levette. I think that's her name. 27 years old. Went right after it. Congratulations to you. But I'm watching, the NGOs, and I'm watching him freeze money, and I'm watching him say, you got to go back to work. And it reminds me of the gravy train, right? The gravy train. It's disappearing. They've been chasing the gravy train, and it disappeared. And I don't know, you know me. I was thinking about this. I couldn't get this out of my head. Video 19.
A dog can get mighty hungry when he doesn't get his chuck wagon, because dogs love the soft meat-like chunks, the brown crunchy bits, the rich broth chuck wagon makes when you add.
Tim Waltz and Prickser and all of them can get awful hungry when they don't get their chuck wagon. They don't get their chuck wagon. When the gravy train ends, they can get awful hungry. The gravy train ends. I couldn't get that out of my head. So, all right, I have to go. Now, how many of you, I want to know, have ever heard of have you ever heard of Little Jimmy Dickens? Little Jimmy Dickens, country music star, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. He did the video with Brad Paisley, Gone Fishing, whatever. Little Jimmy Dickens, you ever heard of him? Give me number. This came out of the milk box. Remember, I showed you this morning the milk box. Property of Pervin Dairy Company, 1969. My mom brought me this milk box. It is loaded with stuff I'm going through. There was some old pictures in the milk box. Number 76. That would be your host, right? That would be your host. I think I'm 14. I think I was 14. And that's Little Jimmy Dickens. I was with Little Jimmy Dickens when I was 14 years old. I was actually at his house. This is when I was at his house, 14 years old. Now, the next one. Now, my grandpa, he had a produce company. Okay, had a produce company. And he hauled potatoes and had a market. He hauled apples, you name it. The best I could figure is these are 50-pound bags of potatoes. Now, I told you, I have worked since the day I was born, and I can prove it. Give me number 75. I don't know why I'm doing this. Why am I doing this? That's your host. I'm 1 month old. That's my grandfather's produce truck. That's his produce truck. To the left and right of me are 50-pound sacks of potatoes. I would not be shocked if my grandpa wasn't saying, now look, kid, as soon as you can, you're going to unload those potatoes. I would not be shocked you didn't know him. So anyhow, so I could prove the next time you say, I had to picture one time my grandpa had me carrying apple boxes when I was 8. Been working since the day I was born. Working like a dog. All right, the Georgia Hour. The Georgia Hour. We have a lot to report on Georgia when we return. Take a break.